Gareth, is everyone at the physical level you want to carry out the game plan you need?
I think we've had to adapt things. So clearly coming into the tournament we had players that hadn't had 90s for quite a while. But we'll definitely be better for the couple of games that we've had and the extra day in between for recovery. So someone like Kieran Trippier, for example, has now got 290 minutes under his belt and a lot further ahead than he was 2 weeks ago.
Is Harry Kane at the level needed to go the distance in a game?
Yes, no question. Yeah, I mean, clearly in the game the other day, there was a lot of work to do, and he'd only had 190 minutes in the space of 4 or 5 weeks. And on a hot day, we felt it was important to refresh all three forwards.
You've changed formation in tournaments before. Is that an option that you're considering?
Yeah, we consider everything. We're always assessing what's the best way to go, and we know that although we're top of the group and we've got 4 points, so we're in control of the group, we know that our performances, we'd like to be better. So we haven't hid from that in our meetings, in our assessment between ourselves as a group of players and staff. We know there's more to come, more that needs to come. So yeah, we're always looking at everything that can help us be better.
What was the key thing, the main thing missing in the Denmark game?
I think, as I said after the game, they're a difficult team to press the way they play. They play a back three, but that's very fluid. So it's not always clear references on who's pressing who. And then, as the game wore on, we didn't show the composure that we normally have as a team with the ball. So those things need to be better. We need to keep possession of the ball better. We need to have more of a threat and a bit more positional discipline in our attacking play.
Have you seen any reaction to the Denmark performance?
No.
If I was to tell you the manager's been getting a bit of stick, would that surprise you?
No, not at all.
Is it fair?
Our performances haven't been at the level we'd like. So, I've been in this job long enough to know that there are times where we've won, I think we've played well, and there's been criticism. There's been times when we haven't won, and there's been criticism. So, I'm sort of, it's not really going to affect my life. I know the level we're playing at. I know we need to be better. We don't hide from that. I don't think we hid from that after the game. We certainly haven't hid from that in the discussions we've had internally. But we're also very composed about the context, the reality of where we are in the group, what needs to happen. But okay, we've got to do this and this better, because we need to be playing at a better level than we are currently.
What would you say to those saying, what's the plan? What would you say to those saying, why aren't we seeing players repeating their form that they show for clubs?
Their discussions that in terms of how we're playing and what needs to be better, that are obviously going on internally all the time. So that's the process of coaching. You plan a game, you play the game, you review the game. Did we do what we set out to do? Do we need to tweak the way of playing? Of course, the next opponent plays slightly differently, so there are different things to prepare for with and without the ball. But also in our world, we have to keep context as well, because we're on the same number of points we had in the last Euros. We've conceded one more, we've scored one more. So third game out, we got a 1-0 against the Czechs, I think. So it's very familiar territory for us, all of it.
After the Denmark game, you said the players almost care too much. Just explain that.
I think sometimes you can focus too much on winning and forget to focus on performance. And in the end, you have to focus on performance, and you have to focus on playing in the right manner. And results are a consequence normally of good performances. Of course, we're in a random sport, low-scoring sport, where you can play well and lose. So, but you've got more chance of winning football matches if you're playing well.
Declan Rice has said the expectation is bigger from the players because of some of the seasons they've had with their clubs, and that has led to maybe players putting too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah, I can't speak for Dec.
Do you sense that?
I don't think what they've done with the clubs has any relevance because...
But do you sense a pressure maybe within the group that because of expectation externally?
I think inevitably there was going to be more expectation. We've worked together for 8 years and we've built a good team, and we've built evidence over a long period that we can play well and that we can win big matches. So of course there's going to be expectation in a major tournament with England. There always is. I think those expectations were different 8 years ago, but I don't think we went into the games with Colombia and Sweden and teams like that in Russia without any pressure or without any expectation. So they were incredible nights. We've learned a huge amount from those nights. We're very clear on what we need to focus on. We're very clear that we have to make sure that we're listening internally. It's about our identity. It's not about anybody's opinions outside of our camp, because we're brutally honest in our camp. We know the things that we do well and we know the things that have to be better.
Declan Rice has started every tournament match since Euro 2020. How do you sum up his value?
Yeah, he's a huge player for us. He brings the stability in front of the defence. He's as good as anybody in the world at sensing danger, snuffing out danger, making recovery tackles. You know, most of his tackling is clean, so he avoids conceding free kicks, which is hugely important. And his play with the ball is improving all the time, so he has a huge presence for us.
What's been missing in that midfield area, though? Have you the right profile of player to get it right in that midfield area?
Well, we've got to reflect on how the team are functioning. You know, clearly we're not quite functioning as well as we would like, and therefore we've got, you know, we have been assessing everything, but you know, we're very clear on what hasn't worked, and we're very clear on how we've been addressing that over the last few days. Have
you, in Kobbie Mainoo, Adam Wharton, players ready to start despite their youth, innocence?
Yeah, we've brought every player here because we believe they can play a part for England. So we've never hesitated to use young players, and that will continue to be our philosophy.
Is there anything like managing or playing for England at a major tournament? And it's a positive thing, potentially. There's nothing like it, really.
No, I mean, look, I'm privileged. I've had a unique job in our country, in football, to be able to do that for 8 years and have all the experience and experiences that I've gained in that period of time is an unbelievable privilege and insight very few people have ever had in their lives. So, yeah, I reflect on that with a great amount of pride, but also it means that in these moments I know what's required and I know how to keep a group of players and staff on track.
What's the one quality that's required most now?
Well, what we've focused on is keeping perspective, because we're top of our group, we're on 4 points, we control our group, but we need to play better, so we're focusing on performance.
What will be better in terms of that performance when you focus in?
Well, we have to do that on the pitch. We know the things we've talked about, we know the things we've practiced, but in the end we can talk well, but we have to deliver.
What would you say to those doubting the team?
I'm not interested. You know, the external at this stage isn't going to help us. Our fans in the stadium can help us for sure, because they've been brilliant. They're amazing. We had terrific support in the stadium. I think they know their importance to the team. They bring an energy to the team. Everything outside of that is unlikely to help us. So we've got to focus on our internal, our own identity, our own camp. And they're the important things in our world at the moment.
You have experience of being in pressurised situations with England where there has been external noise, plenty of it. Many tournaments with great managers.
All tournaments, I think you could say.
Well, I actually think the three you've had before this have been smooth, very smooth. That you're in this maelstrom now for the first time.
Well, that's not my memories of the last Euros. So, yeah, if that's how it felt for you guys, maybe, but to me, the last Euros didn't feel that way.
Do you draw on Euro 96, maybe? Do you draw on the experience that Terry Venables went through when you were in a week like this?
Yeah, no, I think I draw on the 53 years of my life, all the people I've encountered, all the experiences I've had. It allows you to take a step back at the right time. It allows you context. It allows you perspective. You think about what's important for individuals, what's important for the group. And yeah, in the end, as a manager, as the coach, we're focusing on what can help our performance, and you always have to come back to that in the end.
What would Terry Venables be saying?
I'm not sure, because I'm not Terry. Terry's was a coach I loved playing for and loved working with, but I'm my own person. I've drawn and taken a huge amount from Terry and many, many others, but I have to do it my way, and he would probably sing that rather than say it.
Well, I'll give you one line from him from the archive here. But I think it was after game 2, maybe game 1 in the Euros, 96. You're talking like we're out of it. We're still very much in it, and it's up to us to get it right.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about how people are talking. So we know where we are. We are in control of our group. We want to play better than we are. I know I'm repeating myself a bit, but that is the reality.
And what of the best England teams you've been part of and managed always had that you need first?
Yeah, I don't think there is one thing that's required at these moments. There are a few things we've got to do better, and as I said, we have very honest conversations in our camp. You know, I think people won't know that from the outside, but we challenge, we probe, we push, but we keep perspective, because you have to keep your heads, and but we don't settle for second best, we don't settle for mediocre, and I think that's why over a long period of time we've got results and we've had good adventures with the team, and we're determined that this will be another one.